Perry, how you feeling? You ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right. Arch, you ready to go?
Hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Forward Pass podcast. This is what episode is this, guys? Is this 14, 15?
I think it's 15. Let me
Yeah.
look. Let me
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
clarify.
We
Counting the Ryder Pod Cup Pod, then yeah, it should be around there.
yeah, right. All right. Well, let's get that first so I can redo the intro so I know exactly what pod we're doing because I
Episode
forgot.
15.
Oh, let's go. I should just went with my gut. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 15th edition of the Forward Pass Pod. We've got myself, we've got Sam Perry, we've got Caleb Archer. Uh, right now, it's 8 o'clock on Tuesday, and the rankings are coming out live. So we're going to have a couple live reactions for you guys, plus just a jam-packed show about college football. Today, we are without our guy, Luke Duska. He had a family event, so pray for the kid and his family, but we're going to miss him on the pod. But the show must go on, and I know he would want us to keep going. So we'll see him on episode 16. Can't wait to have him back. Anyway, a couple big things happened this week. One being Hugh Freeze fired at Auburn, 15-19 record and a 1-5 SEC conference record this year. Uh, Fellas, I know you guys are looking at the rankings, but I kind of have boiled it down to three things, all virtually the same thing. So Hugh Freeze, 2023 starter was Peyton Thorne. His 2024 quarterback starter was Peyton Thorne, and his 2025 quarterback starter was Jackson Arnold. And when you have three running backs, then it's tough to make anything shake. I also have an absolutely mind-boggling stat. Let me pull it up. So only three teams in the FBS this year haven't allowed more than 24 points in a game. One being Ohio State, who's 8-0, two being Indiana, who's 9-0. Both of them are respectively the one and the two number two teams in the country. And Auburn has also not let up more than 24 points in a game this year. They are 4-5. That is abysmal. And that shows why Hugh Freeze probably deserved to lose his job. Wasn't for lack of effort, but when you hitch your wagons to Peyton Thorne back-to-back years and then Jackson Arnold, it's going to be really hard to be successful. Does anybody have a take different than that?
No, I was gonna say you chose the wrong. I guess 2 years ago, Thorn. I don't. Looking back, I don't think they could have went another option on like quarterback. But then like this cycle, you kind of hitched your wagon to Arnold early, and then you brought in Daniels, and he was he was a spark against Arkansas. He was pretty bad against Kentucky. That was the honestly that Kentucky game was one of the worst football games I've seen in a while, and I
Dude,
watched it all the
really
way
bad.
through. It was like whoever made like you thought Auburn was going to turn the corner when they got the pick right before the half, and then they instantly stalled 3 plays and then kicked the field goal, and it's like it was pretty bad. He just hits like you said, he just hits the wagon to the wrong guy, and then he chose like because he chose Arnold so early in the portal process that just not good. Um,
Wait, time out. I can't help it. Every time I keep talking, I just see Perry's face reaction. So could you update us, Sam, on what's going on?
Yeah, I mean nothing crazy. Texas at 11 is a little high. Um,
Ah, dude.
Oklahoma's at 12. Nothing else really standing out, but just like some funny.
What's the
I
highest
saw.
ranked G5 team right now? Memphis?
I don't none
Oh, none in the top 25.
none in the top 25.
Fair, fair point. Um, yeah, Arch, pretty much what else are you supposed to say? I mean, they had a really good defense. Um, dude, physical team, tons of just close losses where quarterback play would be a huge plus. Like you lose to OU by a touchdown, you lose to Texas A&M by a touchdown, you lose to Georgia by just giving up 20 straight points and almost being up 17-0. You lose to Mizzou in double OT, and then your offense ceases to exist against Kentucky. And the O line was miserable against Kentucky. That was insane. That was a tragic gameplay. Tragic gameplay, like you said, Arch.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody got to watch the commentary, but Cube Show was on the like in the booth. So he was obviously he's like an Auburn legend, and he was pissed off watching that game. So you just kind of figured it was like this. I don't I he might have gotten fired Sunday, but I feel like he got fired last year whenever they lost to I don't know. I guess I would say they got I don't know when he got fired exactly, but it's been over for a while. It was just like you were just like waiting it out until they actually I don't think once you saw what happened like in his tenure, he might not have gotten fired then, but you just knew he never was going to be like as good as he should, and then he will
Yep.
get fired because of it.
Yep. Yep. I was
Yeah,
very
I think it's
uninspired by like his media like days with Pate and like I never bought into the program. He never made me feel like they had something going. He always made me feel like, oh, so you don't think it's going to go well? Like, if you don't
Yeah,
think it's going to go well, then why should I believe you think it's going to go well? Sorry, Sam.
yeah,
yeah, no, I think that like it's similar to Napier in how it was almost an impossible task this year. Like he had one, they administration had him one foot out the door that unless they had some miraculous playoff run this season, that it was going to be the end of his tenure there. I also just think like what you said, Charlie, about just confidence in his program. I talked about this with Kelly and Auburn, also never really having a true identity here under Hugh Freeze with no linear progression. And I just always thought it was funny, especially in the middle of the year when he was begging for the administration's support and for them to publicly come out and say they support him. It just felt like he never trusted his plan, he never trusted his team. And
How could you
this
with that
was
quarterback play? How could you?
right. No, and this is not surprising. I just think that now this just adds a whole nother wrinkle into this coaching search.
That's definitely the
So
interesting part
yeah,
because
there's really not much to like break down here. Like
no,
he was
no,
fired, everyone expected it. I just think now it's like, do you think that Auburn or Florida is a better job? Um,
yeah.
I think that's the big thing.
Also, Summerall is he's the odds leader. He's the leader in the clubhouse for both the LSU and the Auburn job, but he can only get one of those jobs. So
I think I think people at Auburn thought it was going to be Summerall. I think from game one this year, when after they basically knew that it was done for Hugh Freeze,
yeah,
they thought it was going to be Summerall. I think the LSU opening changes that if they cannot make this splash higher that it seems like they're going to make. But on the like, I just think that this LSU job is becoming less and less attractive with the just overall shit show that is their program right now, with the governor getting involved. So seeing
could you enlighten the listeners who may not know about that kind of like the back office things that are happening at LSU?
Yeah, so essentially the governor came out and said, I think it was a week, like right after they fired Brian Kelly, he said, I'm not letting the athletic director make this hire, basically. And because he said he screwed up the Brian Kelly hiring. And then a few
Scott
days later,
Woodward.
he was
Scott Woodward is the
Scott
AD's
Woodward,
name.
the
Yeah.
AD. And then a few days later, he was relieved of his duties, which to me was surprising. Granted, their baseball team had just won a national championship game. So the governor is now getting involved in the hiring process, which if you're an outside coach, that there's just no stability right now, it seems like at LSU. So that kind of makes this job slightly less attractive, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And just when you have state officials getting involved in athletics, whether it's a state funded college or not, it just reeks of a messy situation. And then hiring Summerall, which would be an in-state hire, just also makes this a weird overall situation. So that's something to definitely keep an eye on.
Would you you're pretty plugged into the like you're a big coaching search type guy. Would you put money on Summerall landing up at Auburn or LSU?
I mean, I would have told I would have said that it would be Lane at LSU last Sunday when they fired Brian Kelly. I think that with everything going on in LSU athletic department, I would say it would not be Lane. I think he'll stay at Ole Miss. Um, I would bet that it would be Summerall. It seems like the smartest and best hire. He's going to be Auburn's one, their one. Their the Auburn or the LSU job is more attractive than the Auburn job. So I think Summerall will be their guy, which would then leave Auburn still searching.
An interesting angle is that like as the season progresses, it seems like the chances Lane stays at Ole Miss are slightly increasing with each week. Like you're saying, Sam, the instability of some of the athletic departments, as well as just kind of the overall shit show you're gonna have to deal with going into Florida and going into Auburn and trying to rebuild those things. So, especially with Ole Miss playing such good football. So, yeah, that's been an interesting angle. I kind of compiled a list of the 5 best jobs so far in this cycle. Do you guys want to go through that?
Yeah, can I say
Yeah,
something about LSU real quick?
Of 100%, 100%.
Yeah, they just got their new president on today. Like, because the reason why the governor was getting involved is because they didn't have a university president yet. But today was the first day of the university president, and they just hired they replaced the AD already
Really?
with a guy he's an old LSU football player, and he's been in the program for athletics for 25 years. So he was the interim guy, and today he made it official. So I think that'll give a little more alignment because like governor kind of has, I think he has a role in the president, like who they want. And then the president selected who he wanted for the AD. I think you're going to see a little more stability than like in the past. That Woodward, I think Pate talked about it and other people have. He was the guy who did the Fisher one, I believe, at A&M, and he was one with Brian Kelly here. So I figured like the writing was on the wall, but so I guess I think they're gonna have some more stable leadership than if you look at Florida, in my opinion, because I think Florida's president and AD have been in hot water lately. So I guess it'd be nice to have if you get hired. Yeah, sure. It'd be nice. I think if you're a coach, you want to look to where the president and the AD are both aligned on what they want. Because if that's not the same way, then that makes like instability happen, I think. So if like you had your president handpick your AD, I think it helps a little more than it would have
No doubt. Good point.
had you not.
Speaking of Jimbo Fisher, how about Jimbo Fisher's name being repeatedly brought up for the Auburn job? That would be
It
insane.
that would nothing would shock me after Belichick last year. I'll say
You're right.
that.
You're right. You're right. But I think that'd be a really bad hire.
Oh, it'd be horrible. It
Yeah.
would be really bad.
Yeah. But okay, so I compiled a list of the 5 best jobs, and I think the 5th job could be up for debate. So obviously you have LSU, where it's like a Kiffin Summerall clubhouse, Florida, which is also a Kiffin. They want Kiffin as well. You have Auburn, which is Summerall, Kiffin, Jimbo Fisher, Ryan Silverfield at Memphis. Those are kind of the names being tossed around. Then the 4th job is Penn State, which recently Brian Hartline, the offensive coordinator at Ohio State, has been getting a ton of buzz for that job, which I would think maybe a good hire, but also a risky hire. And then the 5th job, I think the Virginia Tech job as of now is the 5th best job. And the one that could come open is the Wisconsin job if they did pull the trigger on Fickle. But Virginia Tech right now, James Franklin is the leader in the clubhouse for that job.
I thought you'd
that
already.
seems like a done
Yeah,
deal.
I thought that was like I was hearing like 10 million a year he would get there, which is crazy. But
I mean, I feel like that'd be a good landing spot for James Franklin.
I think
I
that's the
think that'd
best
be
big name that they could get. That's not like that they could actually get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'd prefer him to go Bob Chesney, but I mean Franklin's a winner, so
Yeah.
well he's a winner ish. So I guess you're satisfied with that at Virginia Tech.
Yeah. Chesney might be up for. I wonder what NC State does with Dave Dorn. I'm sure they keep Dave Dorn, especially with this Georgia Tech win. But I want because Chesney's a huge ace. That's a ACC coach waiting to happen. But
He'd be a good UNC
BC
coach.
job, BC job.
I think JMU's a better program than BC.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. Yeah, I
I
think that'd
think
be a
UNC
lateral
would be a
move.
pretty interesting. Yeah,
Do you think? I think they might keep Bill Belichick.
they have to look better,
They have.
which isn't saying much,
I
but
think they're
I mean,
keeping Belichick.
I agree. I agree.
I don't think that they would admit to their failure this quickly.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
because
agree.
if they do, there's going to be a lot of people that get fired.
And they have looked better. So you never know. Their quarterback play is not very good. That Syracuse game on Friday, I loved the lacrosse kid, but I think he had less than like 30 passing yards. So, you know, so we'll look. If anybody doesn't know, there was a Syracuse lacrosse walk-on football player, lacrosse player who was the starting quarterback for Syracuse on Friday. I was really rooting for him. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't. I mean, he's kind of what you'd expect the performance to give, but it was still cool. Anything going on with the playoff right now?
Now the only like crazy-ish thing from the rankings would be Notre Dame at 10.
I
The
think the
highest
AP has
ranked.
them at 10 too.
Okay,
Really?
so what are the top 12 teams right now?
Ohio State, Indiana, A&M,
Ohio State,
Bama,
Indiana.
Georgia. This is what I'm off the top of my head. Okay. Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, BYU, Texas Tech, Oregon, Notre Dame, Texas, Oklahoma. Those are the top 12. But the top 12 in the playoff would be Virginia and then Memphis, and Texas and Oklahoma would be left.
Dude, they have Utah at 13. Utah might sneak
No.
in the playoff as an at-large.
They might arch, especially if they get
They have Utah's end of their schedule is pretty. I think they have Baylor, and then
yeah, as at large, dude, that's insane.
they're 13. Virginia 14. Louisville 15. Vandy is 16. Is
Wait. Louisville's a one-loss team.
Yeah.
Why are they below? Why are they below Utah though? That's insane.
Who's Louisville's one loss to?
Virginia.
Who's a playoff team? As of now.
Yeah.
Dude, they beat Miami.
Yeah.
That's better than any of Utah's wins. Like far better than any of Utah's wins.
Iowa's at 20. Okay, they're just backloading. What in the world? Iowa at 20. Michigan 21.
They set those
USC 19. They're just boosting up Oregon and all the Big Ten teams' resumes.
Yeah. I mean, USC's probably fairly rated at 19 and 20. That's probably fair. Especially since they play
Iowa
each other.
seems a little high. I don't know.
But USC and Iowa play each other, so they could one of them's going to lose that game.
Washington's 23. I feel like Washington's too low. But I guess you can't have them over Michigan if Michigan beat them.
Texas is really high.
Oh, yeah, 11 is
for
crazy.
A team with
Vandy at 16 is way
but
too high.
They did beat 2 top 10 teams.
Yes. Vandy one was very impressive.
I don't think that Texas is like when I instantly saw it, I don't think Texas is that egregious.
I think Texas might play their way into they have a really tough schedule though. They have such a tough schedule.
Hold on, someone just called me real quick. I'm gonna
Texas has Georgia, Arkansas, Texas A&M. So
I think they beat.
You think?
Yeah, I do. I really do. And I don't want to get way too far ahead of ourselves, but we don't have a ton to preview for next week anyway. But I think Georgia is going to get caught at some point. They can't keep getting away with playing 2.5 quarters of football every game.
I mean, yeah, that was a huge win. But okay, point taken, yes. Also, we saw Washington do that and just keep winning at the end of games.
Yeah,
like against Washington State, and then against Oregon, and then against I think I don't know whether it's
but what
Arizona.
If Texas is clicking? Like they destroyed it.
Yeah, but I mean that fourth quarter was kind of.
Yeah,
I'm not fully ready to buy in on Texas. I do think the Georgia game is that'll
be a great game.
But then they also, if they beat Georgia and then they beat Arkansas, but then they lose to Texas A&M, there's an argument that they could get in as a 3-loss SEC team because that's a gauntlet to play.
Yeah,
but
your one of your losses being week 1 at Ohio State.
Yeah,
by 7.
Yeah, which that loss looks better and better every day. But yeah, the Longhorns. No, I get them being at 11. The Utah one, I think, is the most egregious, and I'm a Kyle Whittingham guy, but
Utah has been egregiously overranked all year.
All year. That's
have they been underdogs once?
No.
In a game?
No. Well,
the Texas Tech game?
No. Texas Tech, they were a 3-point favorite. BYU, they were a 3-point favorite. Dude, it's because they're power. They're just power rated well.
Time out. So like BYU is gonna lose, or whoever loses that game, and then like they're gonna
It'll just
drop
push them out.
where?
It'll
You know,
push Utah back.
okay, you think it'll push them back, or do
Uh,
you think they'll put them at like 12?
if BYU beats Texas Tech, I could see BYU making the playoff or Utah making the playoff because I think they like the committee does the recent. It's how long
But
ago
Texas
did you
Tech
lose? You
beat
know,
Utah though. They
They
yeah,
beat
ran
they
them out
Utah.
dominated
of
them.
They
building.
beat
But
Utah.
the committee always does if you lost at the beginning of the season, we don't care. But if you lost last week and your
We
loss was
really
like better
care.
than that, we don't. Yeah, like you're out of the playoff, buddy.
Yeah,
Like
no,
that's the
I
way they
agree.
do
I
it.
agree. I agree. Well, I guess the Big 12 championship is going to be huge because that might be Matt. Okay, let's say it's like a two-loss. Let's say it's a two-loss Utah who's at the 11 seed. So they're in the playoff. They're in the playoff playing an undefeated BYU. And let's say BYU wins. Would you be able to take would you have to take Utah as a three-loss Big 12 team who because you or are they going to punish them for playing in their conference championship game?
No, because the
At that point, I
ACC
think they
champ
would
has to
punish
get
them.
in, and so does the
Hmm?
group of five.
What?
There's still two spots of the group of five and ACC champ that are probably going to be ranked below them.
I feel like an ACC champ if Louisville wins out and wins it, I feel like they would have
But I think they'll be already
they'd be a
ranked ahead
top
of them.
they'd be a top 12. They'd be a top 12, I think.
What's Virginia ranked?
13.
14, 13 or 14.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, well, I guess enough of the theory. We'll just have to
That was nice of them to rank Pitt. I don't know if that was
necessary.
necessary or not.
Yeah.
I didn't notice Virginia Tech or not Georgia Tech is 17, which I think is far too high. But that's just me.
Dude, Arch, we're gonna get into it, but dude, you've been spot on the Yellow Jackets so far. Now, the Yellow Jackets they do play the Georgia Bulldogs later in the year, and that could be something. They could do something there. But to this point, you're right. They're so fraud. Their defense is so bad.
I think we could put up 100 on them.
Dude,
Like,
their defense is terrible.
I think they could probably put 100 up on us too, which is kind of scary. But
Do you want to get into Georgia Tech right now or no? We're not going to lead the show with Georgia Tech.
no, we can do other things. I mean, we can talk about them getting pounced, but we can do that later.
Okay, we'll do that later. Let's do Miami losing to SMU 26-20 because that is egregious from the Miami Hurricanes. This is the annual November crashing and burning we're accustomed to seeing from Mario Cristobal. Do you guys want to guess their record in November during his tenure?
Sam can go. I see what
It's
it is.
six. It's out of 16.
I see what it is.
It's 4-12. They're 4-12 in November.
This is why you need to just send us an outline and then make your own separate notes because when you ask us these questions, I just see that your answer. I've already seen your answer.
I didn't know you guys were on the outline. I just give you the outline just in case. I didn't know you guys used it. Dude, 4-12?
The problem is that none of these losses like that I can like remember. I remember the Tech one when they didn't need the ball out, stupid.
Yeah.
I remember Syracuse last year. I remember Tech last year. I remember SMU this. When you watch all of them, it's like it's not like they got blown out of the building. It's like one thing that like it's literally
they lost on the margins. Yeah.
It's literally just It's not like you got blown out. You literally just lost off like a coaching decision every single time. And the problem is I like remember like 8 of those very vividly. Like, that's the problem with Chris.
Well, dude, and didn't they beat Virginia Tech last year though? On that BS?
Yeah, that was an October game, but that was
a Friday night.
Was that in November?
No, it was I think it was like October. I think it was the day before. It was a Friday. I think it was October.
Okay. Well, either way, okay. So
they also should have lost to Cal last year too.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, that was an October game too. But that one was egregious. That targeting call will never be forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carson Beck has thrown 6 interceptions in the 2 Miami losses this season, so pretty egregious. Pate talked about this on his show, and like I do kind of agree with this. Like they just get into these sword fights and boxing matches with teams that they're far more athletic than. Like, why are you? They play like the 1980s or the 1990s Nebraska, just like slowing it down. just like milking the game. They play the game like Navy plays, but they're Miami and they're so explosive. So I don't know why they continue to do that because then you just get in and then you get in a position where like coaching and late game execution matters and Miami doesn't seem to practice or care about either of those two things.
Yeah, it felt like
Yeah.
like they need to twist the knife, and they just kept screwing around with them and letting them hang around the game. And
Yeah.
then you go to overtime, and they could just it's the same similar to that Louisville game. Like they had their chances to to twist the knife and to step on their neck, and they didn't. And here we are now, and they played in three really close games, and they've lost two of them. So they're not going to make the ACC championship most likely,
Yep.
and there's probably no path. Like they're here we are again,
They're dead.
10-2 or 9-3, and it feels like an underachievement for
They
Miami.
need do I think they're not I don't know if they're mathematically eliminated from the ACC picture, but they might be.
They would
Because
need like an insane day of carnage to happen.
They would need, yeah, they would need a lot of people to lose to a lot of bad teams.
yeah,
No matter what the score of this game was close wise, this was a horrible game to watch. Like I
yeah.
watched, it was on like another screen, and I was like watching throughout. Like Chuck said, it's like you're just watching two offenses that are slowing it down to the point like when you're just like, all right, it's just bad football. And then when you have like Beck on his off months, like he has the last couple games, like when he's just tossing interceptions just to throw them, like you're allowing the like Pate was talking about, you shrink the margin, and then it's like so volatile when you shrink the game when like each play matters so much more, and that's like their problem. I don't understand. I don't get their offense they run, but yeah, I
Well,
mean this is
okay.
this is classic Cristobal.
So
It
I
felt
want
like from what
you go.
okay, sorry, I wasn't able to watch much of any games this weekend. Um, but from the highlights that I watched, it seemed like Miami was doing it very like they controlled the line of scrimmage on offense. Beck had time, and yeah, that's just like you said, Arch. The margin for error gets smaller and smaller when there's a smaller sample size and plays.
Wait, I need to read what so Duska had a few something he wanted to see. So he said, when you talk about SMU Miami, can you mention how disappointed I was and how infrequently they threw the ball on base downs with the amount of time the O-line was giving Beck. So Sam, way to see that. Um, and then they failed on multiple short yardage attempts on third and fourth down, which they should be able to lean on a team like SMU. So shout out SMU for being stout and just being well coached. This is the SMU point I want to make. I love Kevin Jenkins. I watched him in the ACC championship last year. They played Clemson, and he was the best player on the field. Kevin Jenkins is the SMU quarterback. He is awesome. He was 29 of 44 with 365 and a touchdown, no turnovers. It was very brilliant. He was very brilliant. And I just really hated how after the Penn State game last year, a bunch of people came online and was talking about how bad Kevin Jenkins was because he did have a bad game. And I think Penn State was just far too much to handle uh for the SMU front, especially their offensive line. But I think Kevin Jenkins is awesome. He was the best quarterback in this game, the best player in the field, and maybe not the field. There are some the trench play from Miami is unbelievable, but definitely the best quarterback in this game. And yeah, Kevin Jenkins is awesome. So I'm a huge Kevin Jenkins guy. Shout out him. Not Sonny Dykes. What's his name?
The SMU coach.
Rhett Lashley just
Brett
got a
Lashley.
payday. He just got a payday. Guys there to stay in SMU for the next 7 to 8 years. So, unless things turn to dog shit. But yeah, I mean, really impressive program win from SMU. Just um, Kevin Jenkins. I think Kevin Jenkins is an NFL quarterback. That's my like hot take. I think he's really good. Maybe not an NFL starter. I didn't say that, but I do think he's an NFL quarterback. And um, we just watched him play an NFL quarterback and look better than him. So that's all I'll say. Anything else on this game, or should we move on to Oklahoma, Tennessee?
No, you nailed it.
All right, Oklahoma, Tennessee. Uh, this game was really good. Did you guys get to get eyes on this game?
Yeah, it was. It was a. To be honest, I didn't really care too much about it. I was more interested in like the NC State Georgia Tech game. That was kind of what in the I guess Utah since he was finished like starting. Um, I thought Tennessee was really controlling the game, and I thought they were honestly at one point like in the beginning, if they like, I thought they were gonna win. I thought they were gonna win in Elon like the blackout night game by probably 2 touchdowns, like because I
How
believe they
good are
went
those?
up
How
early.
good are those uniforms?
Yeah, that
I mean,
intro,
those might
that
be the
video,
best.
yeah, I hate Tennessee, but that video of their intro with their uniforms and all that is like,
They light up the tee.
yeah,
So sick.
they brought it.
Anyway, well, I just want to give the final for people that didn't get to watch this game. Oklahoma beat Tennessee 33-27 on the back of two bad Aguilar picks and a bad fumble. And yeah, I thought, dude, Aguilar is he's a certified dimer. Like some of the throws he made to Matthews and some of their other weapons, and Matthews number 4 is really good at receiver. Dude, some of the plays he made are like awesome. Like he just chucks the rock, and then he throws some really bad picks. Like, um, the three of the turnovers. The first one, uh, I cannot believe Mason Thomas, like the defensive end picks up a fumble, and he just stiff arms a Tennessee tight end for like 23 yards down the field. That was like one of the most insane plays I've seen of the year. Like a tight end is literally just dragging on him, and he finds a way to score. Um, but the first pick for Joey Aguilar throws, like he throws it right to the safety. And then the second pick, he throws it right to the safety, just hits the safeties in the numbers both times. And both of them look like airmail. So, like, those were not good. But Mateer, I thought he was better than Mateer overall. Like, Mateer did not look great. He didn't look comfortable at all. His eyes would continually um, just keep looking at the rush. He did not keep his eyes downfield where well. His feet were not synced with like his reads. He looked very sloppy and uncomfortable, but he didn't turn the ball over like Aguilar did. And Oklahoma has a really good front, like Art has talked about all year, and they have a really good defense. So I thought that was just a big um, just a big win for Oklahoma as a program because they did not get their A game from their quarterback, and they found a way to run the rock for the first time this year, and they also found a way, which they've been doing all year, but their front seven got after Joey Aguilar.
Yeah, again, I didn't like probably like Archer. I didn't get to watch much of this game, but kind of off that last point, Charlie, are you saying how Aguilar outplayed Mateer? He absolutely did, but I kind of see this in the same way about that Ole Miss South Carolina game a little bit, and how Chambliss didn't have his stuff, and yet still find ways to make easy throws and them establish a run game. I thought Oklahoma did a great job of that with a run game that's been non-existent for most of the season. So a lot of credit to Oklahoma for adapting their play style quickly. But I also did think Mateer made some big plays with his legs. That third and I think it was 21. That was a
Yep,
huge
huge
play.
play.
And Charlie, you didn't mention this. The key to that game was just their kicker being a dog.
Oh, dude, he
He was
is
wearing a
awesome.
thong and he was just drilling
He is
field.
so
So
good. That kid's
he needs
amazing.
to. He's wearing tidy whities and not huggers, but it's pretty funny. You see his pants?
Yeah, they were yeah. I mean, the
Yeah.
broadcast kept calling him shorts. Um,
Yeah, so I think that while yes, Aguilar played better, I'm impressed at how Mateer was able to not try to be a hero like he has in the past,
yeah.
enforce the ball when he doesn't have his A game. So that, yeah, that's just in my opinion super impressive and just showing Mateer's growth as a leader and a quarterback.
Also,
Now,
oh, you go, keep going.
no, I'm just saying now going forward, they again like a lot of other teams in the SEC, they have it in front of them. They go to Bama. They who else? At LSU
Yeah, they do play LSU.
They
and
play at Bama,
Missouri.
they play Missouri and LSU.
Missouri.
I mean, that's three really hard football games, but everything is in front of them. Also, I think that's Sam. Another like all that is John like great for John Mateer for not turning the ball over and doing that and um, playing within himself. But I also think that's the coaching staff and just really being really well coached up front on defense and with a play calling to kind of just like let Mateer use his legs. Like, all right, obviously he does not have it through the air. Like, let's use him as an extra hat in the run game. and let's get downhill. And Xavier Robinson was also really good in this game. He had the fumble, but he had some huge plays. He's their running back that hasn't been really playing as much this year, but he kind of got called. And yeah, Oklahoma kicker, what a weapon that guy is. So that's just a program team win from Oklahoma. Football is the ultimate team sport, and they showed that. And also beating they're off of their bye this week, and then Bama, Mizzou, LSU. Crazier things have happened in November. Crazier things. So we'll move on to the next one. You guys got anything else or no?
No.
All right. All right. Let's get on to the next game. We got Georgia versus Florida. And you just can't let the dogs hang around because they battle. Um, when they were down 3 with 8 minutes to play, I had the utmost faith. Get the keys out, go on a drive. I think Zachariah Branch is really finding himself in this offense, and I love how Chauncey, what's his last name? Chauncey
Bowens.
Bowens gets downhill, but you know that was a really cool game from Georgia because, dude, I can't believe they keep getting in these type of games where like you said in the group chat, Arch, that you are losing 10 years off your life every time you have to watch the dogs play football.
Yeah. I don't know if you got to any of the listeners or anybody here, got to watch that first drive that Georgia had versus Florida. I mean, Bobo was in his bag. Like I think it was like a 7-play drive, and we went to third down once, and it was like the first 3 plays. And after that, it was like chunk play after chunk play. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, we are going to put it on them today. But Florida, like they fought under their Gonzalez, I believe it's their interim coach. Gunner had some moments that you're running into pressure, but he also had plays where he would evade pressure and then make throws. So you kind of he's not the greatest quarterback in the country. So you take the lumps and the lulls there.
But he is a gamer.
Defense, yeah. Defense showed up when they needed to in the fourth quarter. That third down stop and the fourth down stop was pretty sick.
Yep.
I know we talked about it. CJ Allen continues to wow me. He's Georgia's Mike Backer. He is really good.
Is he the best linebacker in the country?
He is one of them. I mean, I keep seeing big boards for drafts, and like there's really not like the Mike Backer in college football. There's no like dominant ones like there used to be. So he just looks good. It's more impressive when you see what our D line does sometimes, where they're not really giving him much help, and he's having to read off of feel and instincts, which is like in the intangibles, which is pretty tough to do when you're not with like the greatest and most dominant D lines. So, I mean, that's just awesome. Yeah, it was a good game though. Florida fought hard. Georgia fought harder.
And another thing I want to point out, like offensively, we saw in the Ole Miss game, Delp and Lucky kind of be getting loose, and Frazier like playing well. And in this game, those guys weren't as much of a factor. But Zachariah Branch was a huge factor, and Dylan Bell had made some big plays. So they're so multiple, and we've talked about this before, but their auxiliary playmaking with Noah Thomas, who had a touchdown, Dylan Bell, Zachariah Branch, Nate Frazier, Chauncey Bowens, like even Humphreys, like the white guy receiver number 16, like he's there. He's third in Humphreys sometimes. He makes some big third down catches. So again, this team, although they keep avoiding disaster, and while you could say, they're in a lot of close games, like that's kind of how the SEC is. Every week you got to go play teams laced with NFL talent, and Florida gave Texas hell. So if you don't bring your stuff against Florida, like you can get beat. So also tough day for Lagway. Not a bad day, but the one throw he missed where he threw a frozen rope going to his left off balance 53 yards at the end of the game. Just needed to go 54 yards. So when you were watching that, Arch, was that like, oh?
From what I thought it was like a no catch anyway. But I also like when you
What
see a
about when
guy
you
wide
see him
open.
open? Yeah.
When you see him wide open and you see two guys in your secondary turning around and they're looking at each other instead of like running after the guy, you're just like, um. But I mean that happened on Florida's first touchdown, so
Mhm.
I would have been shocked because I mean literally earlier in the game the safety ran down to try and get uh to prevent Lagway from scrambling and he just throws it right over the top of the defense. So would have been shocking, would have been very disappointing though, because then Georgia would have had to score again and then probably would have shaved another few days off my life having to worry about
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah. I mean, dude, if that ball travels one more yard further, like this might be a whole different podcast, and we might be talking about the Dogs losing to Florida. So,
yeah.
what a game of inches. Sam, you got some?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just the perfect example of the depth in the SEC. Georgia's playing a bottom of the standings SEC team that just fired their head coach. In most conferences, that would be a just dominant game. But you know, credit to Georgia for continuing to pull out in these games. I thought it was funny Stockton taking a knee at the end of the game on the one, just smart play, but lost a lot of people some money on Saturday, and especially in a rivalry where teams have been known to pour it on late in these games. So that was pretty funny. And Georgia is just proving week in and week out that they chose the right guy to stick with in Gunnar Stockton. And no matter what happens, he's there at the end of the game, making big plays, making big throws. And I think you hear a lot of people talking about this in the media about how this isn't a classic Georgia team with an elite defense that is just going to dominate you. But again, they continue to find ways to win. Kirby has these guys playing at an extremely high level. But I do fear that like they might get got at some point. That's my only worry here in a couple weeks.
You know,
But like we said at the beginning of the year, just keep winning.
I'm kind of like going off of. I just had this thought, so I'm spitballing a little bit. But doesn't this Georgia team remind you a little bit of the last Nick Saban team in 23, where you have Milrow, who is streaky at best, and that's not a classic Nick Saban quarterback. So you have Milrow, plus you've got a defense that can be had all year and isn't Nick Saban's like most daunting defense with all the NFL talent, but just time and time again they find ways to win. And they had an early loss and then kind of sneak it back door into the playoff. Obviously, you had like the Florida State debate, but they end up beating Georgia in the SEC championship. And that's this Georgia team reminds me of that, because I'm sure that was one of Nick Saban's best coaching jobs, and I think this season will also go down as one of um, Kirby Smart's best coaching job. Also, college basketball parallel. This kind of reminds me of like a UConn at the end of last year, like Bobby Hurley not Bobby, Dan Hurley just kind of just squeezing the juice out of a lifeless Big East team that ended up kind of making a run at the end. So, weird parallel, but I just think this is just a great coach doing great coaching things and a great football staff that has this team believing. And it is fun to watch. I'm rooting for them. Obviously, they're my national champ, but also I love rooting for the Dogs. So, and rooting for Kirby. And one thing about me,
Yeah.
I cheer for greatness. So whenever I see greatness, I like to cheer for that, because you don't greatness is not does not come around every day.
Yeah. One last thing. I know you mentioned with Branch, but I mean, he's like the perfect do it all receiver for Georgia's offense.
Yeah. Yep.
He's like, I mean, he can be your outside guy. Like he can be your number one, but he can also be the guy that's catching us like the screens that we call as a lot of times, and then he
Yep.
makes plays. So I mean,
Yep.
it's super fun. Whenever you have stuff like that, I think you can beat anybody.
Yes. 100%. He's like yeah, that's a great way to put it. And I love how they use him. He reminds me of like how this is another like parallel, but like how Isaiah Bond was used at like Bama during the 23 team. Like, yeah, Dude, Zachariah Branch, he had 10 catches. He was an extension of their run game and like the bubble screens and the rings and the keys they run outside, like just like the quick hitters. And then he also had some like big third down catches, and he's electric with the ball in his hands. So, and that's a guy that
Yeah.
he hadn't really had his like coming out 100-yard party. Maybe he had,
No,
right?
he had a few like splash plays, but this was definitely the game where he was. I think this was definitely those targets and
Yeah.
receptions.
Yes.
His catch
100%.
over the middle when he got smoked by Florida safety was like super impressive.
Nails catch.
Yeah. And
So
he stands up and he's unfazed, and he's a small little guy too. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like
It
he's
is.
not like he's a big body.
So and then does his brother just not get as much run, Zion Branch?
He played. I think he's going to start playing more because
Yeah, I
whenever
thought he looked good
Bolden went
early in the
out,
year.
he looked way better. He looks way better than number 20, Ja'Cory Thomas, who's the guy who gave up the touchdown on the when he ran
The
down to get
Eugene Wilson
Lagway.
touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think and also Branch made the key third down tackle on Lagway to set up the fourth down.
Dude, Zion's
We
dude,
ended up
I like
stopping.
Zion Branch. I like him a lot. And
Also, he's got it. Yeah, I mean, he looks he's a bigger body safety,
Mhm.
which I like. I think he'll play a lot more down the stretch.
Yeah, I think it's nice to have that like depth piece on your team.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about that early in the year, like when we did the previews of Georgia. I was like, dude, watch out! Like Zion Branch is a nice like he could play nickel, you could play safety, you could drop in the box, play linebacker. So yeah, that was cool seeing him. All right, we're gonna do a little ACC stuff, guys. You ready to go? All right,
Let's rock and roll.
dude, Clemson. Clemson lost to Duke, 46-45. I got a couple stats for you guys. So Dabo Sweeney's Tigers are now 6-3. They've lost 6 straight home games to Power Four teams, which is the first time since 1970 and 1971 that's happened. This is Duke's first win at Memorial Stadium in Clemson since 1980. Arch, when you said, is Clemson making a bowl? Probably, I don't know, it was 6 episodes ago, 6 weeks ago when they were
I think it was after they lost to Syracuse.
yes, when they were 1-3. And
Yeah.
we were like, I mean, that's a little out there. Arch, they need 3 more wins. And they play Florida State, Louisville, Furman, and South Carolina. Is Clemson making a bowl game?
Well, you got to give him Furman, I guess. I think it hinges on this Florida State game. I mean, I don't even want to watch that South Carolina Clemson game. All due respect, Sam, that game is going to be very.
Dude, they could easily both be 4-7 going into that game.
The
Oh, yeah.
non-bowl, just the strictly pride game. See, I would enjoy
the strictly Palmetto Pride.
I would kind of enjoy the strictly pride game.
Yeah,
Would
I
you?
think.
Yeah, I would. I mean, dude, it's better than I guess we're playing to make a bowl game. Like, dude, at that point, if you're a player on one of those teams, like, do you really want to practice for another 2 weeks, then go to the Bahamas and play a football game? No, you want to go home, have Christmas with your family. You'd rather be a 4-7 team and then play the rivalry game, win the rivalry game, and then not have to do that. So, like, for the players, I hope it's a 4-7 matchup because being 6-7 is no fun. No fun because then you have to play more football and like it's not meaningful football. You're just practicing for the sake of practicing. So, you get what I'm saying?
No, I do. Yeah,
So,
just mad. But I remember when they came out with it being a noon game at like in August, everyone was like, "What? Like this is going to be a playoff play-in game." Here we are.
they might flex it to ESPNU.
They might flex into the CW.
Yeah, it might. That's like
People can
rivalry
actually
week.
access the CW, so maybe they'll just keep it on ESPN too,
Dude,
so no one can
insane.
watch it
Oh
on
my
YouTube
gosh. Can we
TV.
do a little bit on this? Let's do a bit on this. This is
You don't want to
insane.
hear my take. You don't want to
Dude,
hear my
I
take.
do. I want to hear your rant because I have a rant too. Do you want to go first?
What's the rant about? Like, how can you blame ESPN for this? They're
Well,
developing their own app.
I'm just blaming Disney and I'm just blaming Disney
For
and
what?
Google.
For trying to make more money?
Yes, and here's why. This is capitalism unhinged, in my opinion. Because and you know who's the winner in all of this? How about cable television coming back?
DirecTV.
DirecTV is so back. DirecTV has been $119 the past 4 years. Now, YouTube TV at one point when it first came out and there was all the live sports, it was like $37. Now it's like $70, right? So it's already two times in price, right? So it's not that far off. Well, then you got to think about if you wanted to watch a full slate of football every month, you'd have to buy Amazon Prime, you'd have to buy Peacock, which is NBC's streaming service. You have to buy the ESPN, Hulu, ESPN Plus bundle, and then you have to buy YouTube TV to watch all of your live football. That's like per month $300. Like, who is doing that? So DirecTV is so back.
Yeah, I mean,
And also, I do think it's kind of bullshit because I don't think this is that's this smart of a business idea.
but people are gonna buy the app. But that's their
We'll
whole
see.
new it's the whole new thing they're launching because they bought Red Zone. So that's gonna be part of this new ESPN app. Like
I
it's this
understand,
whole new launch thing, and I
but
don't
Fox isn't
it's
going to give
not
up.
ESPN's fault.
Why?
How is it their fault?
No, how is it not their fault?
They're developing their own product, their own app, and they want it to be exclusive. Like if YouTube TV wants to pay for that, then they can. They're not paying for it.
Yeah,
So ESPN is making more money by people buying their app, which now has basically everything you want to watch sports wise, except for Fox and CBS.
and
Like they
NBC.
have your ABC, they have your SEC network, ACC network. Now they have a Red Zone Sunday Ticket. They have Monday Night Football. So they literally have everything that you want to watch except for CBS and Fox
And NBC.
and NBC for,
And
yeah,
those, but I'm
sure.
just saying like those networks aren't going to give up either. So I'm just saying we'll see what their numbers look like. We'll see how many people watch ESPN in the next 4 years as compared to the last 4 years. So I don't know. Just everybody thought the Pac-12 tried to do this, and I'm not saying the Pac-12 is like the same entity as ESPN, but
Yeah, I took a class at one of my college. I took a college athletics class. We had like an entire chapter on like the evolution of conferences and how TV deals basically were the main driving force. All that, and it was really, really interesting. So
yeah.
I have a really cool knowledge of like how the Big Ten ended up morphing and why the SEC chose certain schools. So but yeah, they'll figure it out. They always figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, I think this probably ends in like a makeup and a kiss and make up thing at some point, but we'll see. Because like, and if it is a kiss and make up thing, like, we'll see what the point was. All I'm just saying is, I don't know. Everybody always loves when they always think like, wow, what a great business idea for it to be a subscription based, and um, it works for some places. It works for Netflix and Spotify, but it doesn't work for all companies, and not all companies have benefited from this. There's a lot of losers who've done this.
I will say for our since our fan base and listener base is about 99% Pittsburgh area listeners, DirecTV is the best thing you can have because you can access it. Like I have DirecTV on our TV in Austin. You can access the app. And so I can watch every Pirates game and every Penguins game no matter what. And the Steelers, if they're not on national TV, I get the Steeler game. So it is the best
And
bang for your buck.
you still get NBC, ABC,
Yeah, I get
ESPN.
it all. You don't new there's nothing I cannot watch.
And so why would you buy the ESPN app?
Yeah, this is a pro DirecTV podcast.
I'm just asking you, Sam. You just proved my
Well, I'm
point.
saying for the average person.
Well, dude, the average person can just buy cable television, which is $119, which might be cheaper than having to do the ESPN and the NBC. And do you
Yeah,
get what I'm saying?
yeah.
Do you
No,
get what I'm
yeah,
saying? So, like, I'm just saying maybe this isn't as genius as people think it is.
but you then have to
ESPN's
get a cable
thing.
box.
The thing with ESPN, that's true, the cable box. The
What do you
thing with
mean?
ESPN is that they're pushing people right now, since people can't access YouTube TV or ESPN through YouTube TV, and if they really want to watch, they're going to the either ESPN or Hulu with live sports. Because I have YouTube TV and Hulu Live because Brian pays I don't know, he'll probably cut one of them off soon, but they're pushing more people to Hulu, which is a Disney and which Hulu is partnered with Disney and ESPN, and there's a package where it's Disney Plus, ESPN
It's
Plus, and
ESPN Plus.
Hulu,
That's what you have to buy.
and that's like a great package. That's a great package if you. But the thing is, when you're pushing people towards that, ESPN is like, we're making their subscriptions are going through the roof because they cut this off. But they're wanting YouTube TV to pay more money for it. At the end of the day, no one wins. And then when you have
The
these
companies don't win, and the consumer loses big time.
you have these shills like Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner. He tweeted a picture of him subscribing to Hulu and was like, "See, guys, this is how you have to watch your games now because they like." And he was trying to make us feel bad for him. And he's the commissioner of the SEC.
That's
Just
what a
laughable.
shill.
Yeah, laughable. Trying to make it like they're the victim.
Yeah, actually, that's
no one wins except the corporations, and
we'll see if they win. We'll see.
Yeah.
But the pod now knows DirecTV.
Dude, DirecTV. Can't wait to set up my app later because
It's not like the dads that listen to this need a quad box. That might be a little bit too much for them.
You can't multi-view on DirecTV. Dude, imagine
No,
DirecTV. Imagine DirecTV multi-views.
DirecTV, if you're listening, please incorporate a multi-view.
Dude, if you incorporate a multi-view DirecTV, cable is actually so back. But imagine.
Well, do you want to know why they
right now?
They don't
Comcast and all these cable companies, they're like, oh my gosh, we're back. How on this? Like, dude, they spent so many money and resources trying to figure out like how to be more marketable and like gain more like revenue share and gain more market share, and all of a sudden this gift just drops in their lap. Like dads are, dude, 60-year-old dads are so justified in their opinion. Like, I'm not getting rid of cable. Like cable's been a staple of my life. Like they're right.
Yeah, when we got rid of cable, the worst part was that when we got Hulu Live, because we went straight to, I think YouTube TV wasn't out yet. And this was like 8 years ago. I couldn't access like GPB, Georgia Public Broadcasting, which would like broadcast high school football in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And that was always the worst. And now like they have like implemented apps and stuff like that, but you're seeing the rise of cable again. And it makes me mad because I got it taken away because cable got too expensive in the 2015s. And now it's way cheaper than
way cheaper.
I mean, we were talking about this. I have like ESPN, like the Hulu Live, YouTube TV, and like two other Peacock,
Amazon Prime, and Peacock.
Amazon Prime, Peacock to watch the Notre Dame play Ball Sac State on a Friday. You got Amazon Prime to watch the worst football game you ever watched in the NFL. NFL Network you're going to need for the Falcons to get
London
shelled
games
by the Colts this weekend in London or Germany, wherever we're playing. Six subscription services. And that's only if you're watching football, because NBA is even worse. They posted a graphic and they have like 17 services you had to buy to watch every single game.
It's just insane.
Bad.
It's just insane.
It's horrible.
It's like they're you know.
You know what I miss about cable TV was the HD channels and the non-HD channels.
Oh,
like dude. I just remember like watching any sporting like Pirates or Steelers game with my grandpa. And if anything was going poorly, he would flip it to the non-HD version and then back to the HD. That I missed it. That was always just like a funny cable thing. It was like 43 for Root Sports and 179 with the HD.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Well, it's 659 now
for DirecTV, but it's still 179 on Armstrong.
Oh, is it? Nice. Nice. Yeah, DirecTV, like I know by heart. 2 is ABC. No, 2 is ABC, 4 is Fox.
2 is CBS, 4 is ABC.
Oh, no?
Yeah, 53
is Fox, and then 206 ESPN, 207 obviously.
220 is NBC Sports.
Yep. FS1's 221, 659, and then you got TNT and TBS are like 440.
It's like you just
244 and 245
in there and you flip around.
Yeah, 244 and 245. Yep, exactly.
247 is TBS.
Yeah. So
we digress.
Yeah, we digressed into it. But okay. Well, anyway, shout out in the. I can't believe we got that. How did we get there from the Clemson Duke game? Well, anyway, shambles from Clemson and shout out Jared.
We were flexing ESPN.
Oh, we were saying flexing it to ESPN. So no one can watch South Carolina State.
Yeah. Well, dude, Clemson, shambles. Duke, shout out Jeremiah Hazley. Kid balled out. So shout out Jerry Hazley, friend of the podcast, Pinderson legend. Given the Tigers work. Cooper Barcade got loose again. I mean, one of the touchdowns, he was just 77-yard touchdown, and they didn't cover him. It was insane. The craziest coverage bust I've seen all year. So, yeah, Clemson's just sad. Do anything else on the Clemson Tigers, like, or Duke
No.
for that matter?
I don't know how
Yeah.
Clemson's defense got worse from
Right?
last year, but they hired a guy I thought was pretty
Reputable.
Tom Allen, I think, or Tim Allen. I
Tom
think it's
Allen.
Tom Allen. Yeah, like good coach. I texted the group chat after I looked and Barcade was wide open, just running down the sideline. I was like, "What is Clemson's defense doing?" And it only got
Literally,
worse.
it's
It only
insane.
got worse. So
46, giving up 46. Poor
yeah,
Klubnik. Klubnik's trying his best out here.
yeah, they got torched.
Um, yeah, all right. You guys want to move on to the Georgia Tech?
Yeah.
All right, Georgia Tech got taken down by the NC State Wolfpack. Shout out Elon transfer Cody Hardy had the opening touchdown. Their tight end Justin Jolie, their starter, got injured last week. Cody Hardy steps in, has a big game, mauling in the run game, just doing his thing. Dude, NC State got theirs in every sense of the word offense. They just got theirs all day. Jaden Scott, backup tailback, 24 rushes, 196 yards, 2 tuds. CJ Bailey, their quarterback, 24 for 32, 340, 2 tuds, no turnovers. 6 different receivers had over 30 yards. Like, this Georgia Tech defense was awful. And let me tell you a stat about this Georgia Tech defense. This Georgia Tech defense is outside of the top 70 in the five major defensive statistical categories, which are total yards, rushing yards, passing yards, points, and third down percentage. They're outside the top 70 in 4 of them, and they're 57th in points. So that is not good for a team that is supposedly a playoff contender. So, uh, yeah, very very lackluster defense in Atlanta. But they do have Haynes King, who is unbelievable. That guy's insane. What a college quarterback. What a gamer. 100 yards on the ground. Again, uh, threw the ball all over the place. But in my opinion, this was just, we were Arch kept saying, like, Georgia Tech might be fraud. The fraud meter was going off. And this was the perfect spot. It's a 4-4 NC State team in Raleigh at night. Dave Dorn, he's been at NC State for a while, and just a great wounded animal mode spot for the Wolfpack, and they did get the Yellow Jackets. So they were had. And you guys have any thoughts on this game?
Atmosphere was electric.
Dude, right? I can't
Felt
believe
like
that.
just from the beginning. I don't believe NC State trailed at all in this game, if I remember correctly. I mean,
They showed at one point. It was like 17.
did they? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay. And then I don't know. CJ Bailey, NC State's quarterback, is really good. He was fun to watch last year. They played Georgia Tech on a Thursday night last year in Atlanta, and it was like one of his first starts after Grayson McCall when he got his head taken off. And and I mean, he played so well. So it's kind of cool to see that. I mean, shout out Cody Hardy, first touchdown. That was pretty sick. NC State's good. I don't think they're good, but they're frisky when you get like a team at the right time, and they caught them at the right time. So
Yeah, there's like not. I don't have a whole lot. I mean, Haynes King was amazing. He had over 500 yards total offense. But I think the main takeaway from this game is now the ripple effect that has on the rest of the ACC and the ACC championship race. For those on the pod that are not aware, the top four conferences, ACC, SEC, Big Ten, Big 12, all get an at-large bid. So someone out of the ACC is going to have to make it to the playoff. Now, there are 6 teams all within a half game of each other in the standings, and a lot of them play each other. So with Georgia Tech now losing, it leaves Virginia now as the only undefeated ACC conference team. Who would have had that on their bingo card at the beginning of the season? Probably nobody. This is just shaping up to be a pretty fun to watch last few weeks here in the ACC. Kind of similar to what we saw in the Big 12 last year, and maybe what people thought the Big 12 was going to be this year. And as Pitt fans, it's looking like a very possibility that Pitt finds a way to make it to Charlotte after Georgia Tech and Miami both look
Ranked
very
ranked
uninspiring.
playoff team, might I add.
Pitt is ranked now. I'm curious. They play Notre Dame, which doesn't matter in the playoff, like for them to get into the playoff. I am curious what that Georgia Tech Pitt spread would be.
Is it in Atlanta or in Pittsburgh?
It's in Atlanta.
I would guess like -3.5 Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I was thinking like 4.5. But
Now Pitt's quarterback's good.
Heinschel. Kid's a baller. Kid's a gamer, also fun to watch. You get some lows, but you get some awesome plays. So
and they pumped NC State last week.
yes,
Like
pumped him.
destroyed them.
Yep. So good analysis.
Who would you guys say the best quarterback in the ACC is right now?
Mensa.
Mensa, I agree.
I would say, yeah, Kevin Jenkins or Mensa. I would probably say.
You guys
Mensa,
ever
dude,
listen to
he
you ever
slings the
listen to
ball around.
McShay?
Todd,
Yeah.
I hear him here and there, but I'm not like a frequent listener.
They always refer to Haynes King as like baby Tebow.
Oh, dude, that's a
It's kind of
great.
funny.
That's kind of a great. That's kind of a great
Yeah, he
comparison.
is.
He is baby Tebow. Dude, yeah. Also, we probably should have said something when we previewed when we did the Duke Clemson thing. Like, dude, Darius Mensah's disgusting. He throws the rock. I can't believe Duke outbid. Like, how does Auburn not be like, let's keep this kid?
The weirdest thing about his whole transfer was he entered the portal like on a one day, and literally the very next day it was like Duke, and everybody was like, "What?" Like, first off, in one day. Second off, Duke, like, and they were saying they paid him like $10 million or something like
Over 3 years or
insane.
whatever, 2 years.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
he
He'll
throws the rock.
attract talent. He'll attract talent in the portal at receiver.
Unless he fetches a higher price this cycle.
if he went to somewhere else, that'd be bonkers. I don't
Yeah,
know how
that'd
they
be
would
insane.
do
Like,
that.
why would he? He's
No,
gonna
I
just
agree.
keep lighting it
I
up at
agree.
two.
I agree. Great, dude. Duke is a good spot for him. So yeah, I'm. Wow, that's crazy. Darius Mensah, best quarterback in the ACC.
Him or King, I would say.
Yeah, I would say.
I would have said Beck a few weeks ago, but not anymore. So
Yeah.
Mets has probably taken his spot.
Do you think Mensah comes out this year or no?
I don't think he can, right?
I think he's a junior.
I thought he was a sophomore, but I don't know.
I think he's a
Let me look.
redshirt sophomore, which is a big difference.
If he does, I mean, I would imagine he's pretty high on.
The board compared to like, dude, who we don't even know who's coming out this year.
Sophomore.
Oh, he's a true sophomore.
Yeah, he can't go out.
He was a true freshman last year?
Yep.
No way.
Yep. 2,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 picks.
Yeah, he's a 2005 birthday. He's already 20.
His passer rating is identical.
Yeah, he's a
last year.
sophomore. He's a sophomore. Wow. Well, Darius Mensah cannot come out. So he's going to be a really high draft pick. And wow.
Yeah, he looks good.
Dude, good on Duke. Good on Duke.
Duke looks good.
They do. They do.
I don't understand them, but they look good.
Yeah,
that
they're
Illinois game got us because they played really bad in that Illinois game.
Well,
Then
they
they
got
lost
beat by
to Tulane.
Tulane.
Yep.
And they got beat by Georgia Tech. I don't know how. They play Virginia next week. That'll be a good game.
What's that spread,
They
Arch?
do?
I don't know. They don't have it
Arch,
posted
are you sure
yet.
that's not out the bye?
No, it's 8, 11, 15.
That's off the bye. That's next week.
That's what I said. Duke doesn't have a bye this week, though.
Oh. I thought you meant they played Virginia this week.
No, they play them next week. They play UConn.
Yeah.
They got to travel to UConn this weekend.
Dude, sneaky game. UConn's been getting people. They got BC.
Pagano, their quarterback, might.
It's only a 9.5-point spread.
Doable. Doable from the Huskies. Guys, can I do a little rant on the Navy North Texas game?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, Navy had a gauntlet coming up They had North Texas. Then they had the three best teams in the AAC. They had North Texas, Notre Dame, Memphis, USF, and it might be USF Memphis, whatever. And they needed this one against Texas, North Texas, and that I mentioned last week that I thought our safeties were a problem, and yet again they were a problem. Uh, we could not tackle, especially from that position. And one of our safeties, specifically number 18, is listed as a corner on the roster, and he tackles as such. And now he's playing safety. Um, North Texas got anything they wanted on our defense, and then we threw some bad picks. And first off, we got down 14-0, which is just the counterintuitive to the option to how to roll in the game. So I appreciate Arch trying to spin it positively to me on text and like give me hope, but watching the replay again, it was just dead from arrival. Literally, the game was dead on arrival, and yeah, Navy's gonna have to lick their wounds, and it's okay because we play Notre Dame this week and we're a 27-point underdog. So you guys know where my super dog's going.
Is that a real name, Giuseppe Sessi?
Dude, Giuseppe. That's our safety number 16, who I said was not very good. And dude, he kept getting ran over by North Texas freshman running back. Like, gosh,
that was the craziest part is they didn't really expose you in the air. That guy
no. We just missed every tackle. Dude, they were literally like, we're not gonna block your safeties. Tackle this guy. And we just never tackled him. We literally never tackled him. Like, dude, sad tackling from Philip Hamilton and Giuseppe Sessi.
Giuseppe Sessi is an insane. No, I mean they did have a chance. Although that onside kick, I don't know if y'all saw. I think what I realize now after, I think the North Texas guy called a fair catch.
Yeah,
which should not be allowed on an onside kick, buddy. You got to get the ball or you're. But
but it's when it hits the ground. It's when they hit the ground and pops up.
It can take one bounce. If it takes one bounce, this is what your coach done all the time on it because I'm on Hands' team. So if it takes one bounce, you can call for a fair catch. If it takes a second bounce, all bets are off. No fair catch.
Yeah, I'm mad that Heidenreich didn't get involved as much in the rushing attack, but
I agree.
I think he would have scored on one of their plays if Horvath and like threw a decent ball on the last drive, and then
the post ball.
Horvath threw that horrendous box fade or whatever.
Well, no, it was just a fade, and they played like cover 2 to it. So like the corner, like he like sliced, and then the safety just got over top, and then he just threw it to the safety, and I was like, oh, that was bad.
Yeah, they did a cardinal sin. They disguised the coverage against the Navy quarterback. When the guy rolled over, I was like, "Oh, it's over." But he threw it. The guy because the guy in the middle in the seam was wide open. But
yeah,
we threw it there.
We disguised it. Yeah, you can't. Whatever.
You can't do that, bro.
Yeah, dude, I love Tesso in the blocking game. Chapman looked good. Gutierrez, our number 8, our little quarterback that we put at running back, he's solid. Dude, yeah, we're a solid team. I still believe in the mids, but
you guys could afford to lose one. You just have to win the next 2.
We have to win the next 2 AAC games.
I also think that the North Texas is probably your worst matchup on how they play.
Yeah, they're the air raid. Yeah, dude, really hard for us to because then they can just, dude, every gap is like we're trying to fill it. We're like trying to be gap sound on defense, and then every time they would just bounce it they would make sure our safeties were like the extra hat in the run game because it's the air raid and you could spread us all out, and our safeties were not good.
It's pretty funny that Notre Dame has these like 2 kind of rivalry games next week, Navy and Pitt.
Yes.
And like in terms of the playoff, like it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Well, unless Notre Dame loses.
Well, I agree. It means everything for Notre Dame now, but I said it means everything now to them.
I'm saying for Navy and Pitt.
The cardinal sin, rotating coverage, disguising coverage. No.
Dude, y'all's game versus Notre Dame is on ESPN Plus.
Well, at least I'll be able to watch it. Dude, how about this? I have one more thing.
Talking about Navy Notre Dame?
No, Pitt Notre Dame.
Navy Notre Dame's on NBC.
It's on ABC, Arch.
Yeah.
Yeah, according to ESPN, it's on ESPN Plus.
It's on ABC at noon.
Just saying what the schedule says.
I have something to say about ESPN Plus. So when you get Amazon, and you get Amazon Prime, which is like Amazon Plus, you get what's included with like the normal Amazon subscription plus a few added benefits. So shame on me for thinking that's also how ESPN will work. You'd get what is on ESPN. You can watch women's college softball if your daughter plays on Presbyterian, or you could watch Alaska play Princeton in men's ice hockey with the plus, right? Well, actually, when I buy ESPN Plus, it's actually I don't get what's included on ESPN. I just get the plus. They should just call it E Plus. They shouldn't call it ESPN Plus because you don't get the ESPN package. You just get the ball sack SoCon women's soccer game, which is insane.
in
Like
hockey.
why am I paying $10 a month to watch more than that to watch ball sack you? Like, dude, I can't believe ESPN the channel does not come with ESPN Plus. Like that will forever mind. What a marketing stunt and grift from the guy from Disney. Like this is another thing. If you haven't read my ESPN article, I did a fixer upper ESPN. If I was the CEO of ESPN, how I would change that on my Substack. Go read my Substack because this is just another leg of my argument against ESPN and why the company is has less credibility than ever. But sorry for my tangent. You guys got anything to that or no?
No, I was gonna say. I mean, I saw a lot of people have the ESPN Plus, ESPN issue, but just laughable. Also, ESPN Plus is like great for small sports when you're like trying to watch.
Your
Like, I
buddy,
think it's great.
it's great for your buddy who plays baseball in the SoCon.
No, you
I
can't
think
watch baseball. I can't watch South Carolina baseball on it.
Well,
You
no,
gotta
you
I
got to
be
be in
wish
the,
they
no, no,
did.
no. You have to be in the SoCon. You can't
Yeah,
be
you
in
have to be in
you
like
can't be in a Power Four
I can
conference.
watch.
If your buddy goes to UC Berkeley, you could watch him play soccer, no doubt. Or I guess
Yeah,
that's
I just wish.
wait. Is, no, that I'm not UC Santa Barbara.
That's
That's what I meant
Cal.
to say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
UC Berkeley's Cal,
UC Santa Barbara you can watch. Cal, no, you can't watch.
probably
yeah.
not.
I wish the FCS would do all ESPN Plus, like it's like one thing for their league where you could actually watch. Because that's another thing with the
Oh my
amount
God,
of
$50 for Flow TV, or it might be more. I think it's like $100 a year to watch Flow Sports, like which is the most
yeah,
BS
it's
high
horrible.
school broadcasting association, but the CAA grifts you.
Yeah.
Just
God
parents
forbid the
wanting to watch
CAA
their
makes a
kids.
couple bucks.
Dude, just go on ESPN Plus. The SoCon's on ESPN Plus. Like, come on. Why can't we all just get along?
Too logical.
Yep. All right, do you guys want to do Heisman odds?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do. I got something to say.
All right. So here's the Heisman odds right now. At plus 185 and in first place, Julian Sayin. At plus 225 in second place, Fernando Mendoza. At plus 450, third place, Ty Simpson. And at plus 850, Marcel Reed. Well, we have some moms that watch the show, so let me do that slower. Julian Sayin is number one. He is the quarterback at Ohio State. Then you have at number two, Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback at Indiana. Then at number three, Ty Simpson, who's the quarterback at Alabama. And then number four, Marcel Reed, who's the quarterback at Texas A&M. Any thoughts on this big board? Because this is probably what we're looking at, these four.
I think Ty Simpson is undervalued
Agree.
because I think he's better than Mendoza. I don't think his stats necessarily are. I think he is a better quarterback than him.
Also, it's when you play Northwestern and Maryland and Rutgers and Purdue,
Yeah,
those can
like
inflate your stats. When you play a SEC defense every week, it's going to be harder to throw 400 and let your little brother get in the game. Not to
Oh,
hate
yeah,
on Indiana, but
I don't know about Marcel Reed being fourth, but I guess that makes if you're choosing him, you're basically banking on A&M to either have one loss or go undefeated. Because I think if they lose two, they're done.
all of these guys could have their moment.
Yeah.
And also, I might add, Mayava at USC could have his moment if they win out. Damon Williams could have his moment if they win out. And what's his name? Oh, Dante Moore could have his moment. Those guys are
I
all,
think I think like you could also put Jeremiah Smith in there
yeah,
having
yeah,
his moment if he like. I mean, if he like takes over the Michigan game, maybe.
yeah.
I think that the country kind of forgot how good Julian Sayin in Ohio State was.
Yeah.
until this week. I think they were always like, oh yeah, they're winning, whatever. They're playing crappy Big Ten teams, whatever. They're finally back on Big Noon kickoff, and Sane just put on a absolute clinic. And yeah, I think we as a collective country forgot how insane this offense is and how this offense is arguably better than the offense that they had last year. Um, and yeah, I think it's his Heisman to lose, in my
Uh,
opinion.
okay. Well, I actually I have a, I have something to say to that. Preston Stone had his moment, and Nico Iamaleava had their moment against the Penn State defense as well. So I don't know how good this Penn State defense is, and so that's all I'll say. Like, dude, they Ohio State, like who have let's look at the Ohio State schedule. Shall we go through it? Okay. Texas, 14-7. Was not all that impressive of a game. They beat Grambling 70 to nothing. They beat Ohio 37-9. They beat Washington, was not all that impressive of a game. It was just like an impressive team game from Ohio State. They waxed Minnesota 42-3. Illinois, they beat them soundly. They beat Wisconsin 34 to nothing, and then they beat Penn State 38 to 14. Where is like the high level competition where like we're watching Julian Sane go to battle? Because I do believe in the kid. I do think he's really good, but what he has done this year is nowhere near as impressive as what Ty Simpson or Marcel Reed or Trinidad Chambliss or any of the SEC quarterbacks have done this year. And Fernando Mendoza has a way bigger game under his belt in the Oregon game than Julian Sane does in terms of playing well and like and putting and carrying your team to victory. So I'm just a little bit confused on why Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza and Marcel Reed are not higher up in this list because they have played in brutal environments, brutal games where like of course Marcel Reed's not going to have the counting stats against as Julian saying. He has to play real defenses every week. Like Wisconsin does
Yeah, but
not
it's
count.
not Sane's fault. It's not Sane's fault that
No,
he's
I
playing his
agree.
defenses.
I
So
agree.
how
I
can you
agree.
punish him for like he's throwing 80% completion percentage? And that's
Impre-
still like 23
impressive.
touchdowns and 3 picks.
Impressive,
Matter
no
who you're
doubt.
playing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That was just a counter argument. I agree.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're
What you're
saying.
saying
I
makes
just
sense.
I don't think that you can I don't think that's a valid argument when you say, well, who has he played? Because it's not his fault that like he's still playing at an extremely high level,
Okay, but
regardless of the
and
competition.
Ty Simpson's not.
No,
I guess that's my
I'm
point.
not
Is
disagreeing.
Ty
Yeah.
Simpson not? Like it, I'm not saying what Julian's doing is not impressive. All I'm saying is counting stats are great and like I love a little completion percentage and yards and TD interception ratio, but dude, I also love watching quarterbacks play in high leverage moments, and we've seen none of that from Julian Sane. So like, how am I supposed to hitch my wagon to him when I've seen none of that? I've seen Ty Simpson go into dogfights in Sanford Stadium, go into dogfights in Columbia, Missouri, go into dogfights like and beat Vanderbilt. Like, I've seen that. I've seen Marshall Reed like face adversity and face defenses and play Notre Dame and play Oklahoma and Auburn and Florida. And so like Auburn's
Holy
defense
shit.
is the third best defense in the country. So what do you say?
He's thrown one pick this year.
Who?
Ty Simpson.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like all I'm saying is like it's a little bit more impressive to me what like Ty Simpson is doing than what like Julian Sane's doing. And Julian Sane's been awesome. And like I'm not taking anything away from him. And then the next three games, like I'm sure his stats are gonna look awesome. They play Purdue, lifeless. What's Purdue's 2-7? Okay, they play UCLA. Oh, wasn't UCLA back? No, Indiana beat the brakes off of them. So they're 3-5. And then they play Rutgers, and I mean Rutgers. What's Rutgers? 4-5. So then they play Michigan. So I'm sure his counting stats are going to be fabulous. But if we just give the Heisman to the quarterback with the best counting stats, like all right, cool. But to me, like it's bigger than that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. But then how do you, yeah, I like, how do you just say like, all right, you can't win the Heisman because, yeah, sorry, you're undefeated and the number one team in the country, but you only played two hard games all year. Like, is that the new
Well,
threshold for Heisman? Is that the new threshold for the Heisman
no,
Trophy?
it's
Is
not. It's not
the
Ohio State's fault.
competition?
I mean, it's Ohio State's. I mean, it's just the Big Ten's like, dog shit, top to bottom. So,
Yeah,
and maybe it's not even dog shit because like if again, like the two
If they would
good
have
big
played USC or Iowa,
Iowa or
yeah,
at least someone. Like if they would have
oh, I
played one of
agree.
those teams, like at least you get the moment where you're not a 3 touchdown favorite against Penn State and everybody's like, wow, he played so awesome. It's like Preston Stone balled out. Nico Iamaleava, we thought like UCLA was back when after they played Penn State. Like, yeah, I'm not that moved by a Penn State win. They're a dead team. That team is dead. They're over with. Like, so, that's just my rant. Whatever.
Yeah,
I think Trinidad Chambliss should kind of be in this mix too, but maybe I'm just a homer. He's been my
I was
guy
gonna
all
say it
year.
might be, but I don't know where Stockton is at, but
Dude, where's I've seen him just go into dude, I agree.
no, I agree with
I
Arch
agree,
there.
dude.
I think Stockton should be in the Marshall Reed range. I don't think he's gonna win it, but I think he is. I think he's like fifth or sixth though, so it's not like I'm not gonna pound the table about it. But I mean, I don't think he's as good as the other guys, but he's had more moments, I think,
Dude,
than
100%.
everyone else.
So right now it's
I
here.
I I was shocked when he was like, I think he's like plus like 1,300 or something.
All right, Trinidad Chambliss is 7 plus 3,500. I like that. Pavia's plus 2,500. I think Chambliss should be higher than that. Stockton's plus 2,000. Marcel Reed plus dude, like yeah, I think why is Marcel Reed to Stockton that big of a difference? And like, dude, again, yeah, Julian's saying like it just dude, I think it's Ty. Like, dude, I'm gonna bang the drum for Ty Simpson so far. That's gonna be my number one.
I
Does
like
it? What'd you say?
I like Simpson.
Yeah, Simpson also has his like they play
Counting
Oklahoma
stats,
in 2 weeks,
and he's
so
and
that'll
he's
be
no,
he'll have
you
a
go.
chance to make his.
That's what I'm saying. I do want to say, yeah, there's gonna be times where all these guys are gonna have their moments because Sayan's gonna play Michigan. So and you know, but it's just a when do they vote on the Heisman?
In between conference and playoff. I'm
I
pretty
Yeah.
think
sure
they
it's
announced it. They announced it the Saturday of Army Navy.
yeah, it's Army Navy game.
So
It's
does
after the Army Navy game.
so
It's right after
conference
conference.
championships do not matter,
It's after
right?
after the conference championship games.
Well,
I don't know if the voting is done
oh yeah, it is
before or
after the conference.
during. I know they announce it after, but I don't know.
Because like that'd be nice to have a Fernando Mendoza versus Julian saying like, is this for the Heisman type of game? That'd be cool.
Oh, the deadline is that Monday after. So, and then the finalists are announced. So the top three, I guess, or four that go to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying because like, when you look at Indiana's schedule, I guess the Oregon was their game. Like, and you look at Ohio State's. Honestly, all these guys though, they don't really have like the game that's going to be like the. I guess the closest one would be Reed and um, Stockton, really, because Stockton's going to play Texas. Reed's going to play Texas. Like, not rivalry game.
Wait,
Well, Georgia,
what about the
Texas.
what about the championship? If like Mendoza and saying,
Yeah, but I just don't know how much that Like, I guess that would be. Yeah, I just don't know what you know what I mean, like the voting period is. Like, I know that's like
yeah,
that by that time, but I think if the responsible Heisman voter would wait till after that game to cast their
right,
ballot,
right, right.
but there's not a lot of responsible people on the Heisman ballot, so
True, true.
they probably are just gonna put it in at Thursday at 3 p.m. and then go to sleep for the weekend.
Dude, who are we gonna do for the pick'em this week? Because the games spreads are not all that.
I do not want to pick Florida State Clemson. I tell you that much. I know that's the closest spread on the board.
Dude, let's not do that.
I
Let's not do
would.
that.
That's a sucky game too.
Let's not do that. Let's
Let's find some G5 action.
what about some Tulane Memphis 5.5 point spread?
I would do that. Southern Miss Arkansas State is a Saturday game. Seems cool. Southern Miss is a 4.5 point favorite.
Yeah, we're not picking that game.
Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan.
No.
You could also do the pick
Rice,
'em like with spreads.
Oh, Rice UAB, yeah.
Rice UAB, Florida International versus Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee's
UCLA,
catching points as
Nebraska.
-7 or as 1-7.
Is there like an ACC game out here? Would you guys pick
Arizona,
Florida, Kentucky,
I guess.
or Nebraska, UCLA?
We could also do like
ATS.
spread. Yeah, it's like
I like to pick them better.
Florida, Kentucky would be funny. I would do that.
All right, we can
UCLA,
do
Nebraska would be cool. UNLV, Colorado State. Um, Arizona, Kansas is one that we could do.
yeah, we could throw Arizona, Kansas on there because someone that always interacts with our host is like my friend at work, and he's a big Kansas fan, so you'd appreciate a little Kansas on there.
I'll throw Kansas and Arizona. Tulsa, FAU. That'd be a good game. UTEP, Jack. There's so many close spreads in the worst game I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I think the most exciting game of the day is going to be Oregon, Iowa.
I like Oregon, Iowa. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna pick Oregon, but
What else do you want to do?
we can do Oregon, Iowa for the. It'll be a nice logo matchup.
Florida, Kentucky, too,
Yeah.
or no?
Yeah, I like Florida, Kentucky.
Oregon at
You guys see Julian Lewis is playing this week for Colorado.
Colorado's bad.
Yeah, not good.
They're worse
See
than
what
I
Deion
thought they
said?
were.
If you don't want to come be a dog, then be a cat and just look at the scoreboard.
They got pounced by. They were getting beat like 28-0 in the first quarter.
52-17. Gosh.
I've had all my super dog is for next week or for this week.
Do you want to just do that now?
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that.
Also,
I'm not
did
gonna
you
pick these
did you
games
cook
till
up a
then.
RB of the week graphic or no?
Yeah,
Let's do that.
let me throw this up here real quick. Let's see if it works this week. RB of the week. Tough week. A lot of good options for sure.
Definitely.
We decided to go with none other than Mr. Jeff Sims. 29 carries, 228, I believe, and 2 touchdowns. His jersey, he had such a good week, they hung his jersey in the Arizona State Hall of Fame. I don't know if y'all saw that. His actual game-worn jersey. Because he had the most rushing yards by a quarterback. And if you cannot see, that's the NCAA transfer portal logo because this is his third school. But he's a gamer. Well,
no,
but
he had a
played
good
well.
game. Yeah,
he played well on Saturday. That is all we will say.
His jersey's Jeff. Like a different color, and all it's a different color from how many times he's back.
29 carries is bonkers as a quarterback.
Well, dude, that good on Arizona State for being like, all right, this kid would not a thrower of the football, but you are 6'6", so and you're an athlete.
He had an 88-yard run to start the second half. It was a poke, unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. Dude, let's recap the Superdog from last week. So last week, ooh, wow. Not a good week from the Superdog. Cincinnati for Luke, +9.5. Never had a chance. Stanford +14.5 for Caleb. Shame on you for betting against Pitt. You should have
lost by 0.5. One of the because Bengal Branson threw a pick 6 in the third quarter. It was one of the worst throws I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, tough beat. Virginia Tech. What was that final, Sam?
They battled. I mean, they
lost by 12. Dude, they were winning at one point. They were winning by 10, and they lost by 12.
No, to who?
Louisville.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Louisville scored with a minute and a half left to secure the cover because that hurt my wallet. And I was like.
And then West Virginia beat SMU by 10. Shout out Rich Rod and the guys. 3 times a year they have a good spot because the West Virginia Mountaineers are not a perennially good football team this year. Let me see what their record is. Their record is 3-6, but they did get Pitt and they beat Houston. So I mean, and didn't Dana Holgerson used to coach at WVU?
Yep.
Dana Holgerson Bowl. So congrats to Rich Rod and the Mountaineers. Congrats to me for the Super Dog. They won outright by 10. So how many points did I win this week?
Dude, that's the dagger. That might be the dagger in the super dog. We need someone to get
You
hot.
won. You won 35.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Hell yeah. Good shit. West Virginia. Love that. Um, so yeah, that was Super Dog this week and the RB of the week. So congrats, Jeff Sim, and thank you, West Virginia. Do you guys want to do Super Dog this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. I got Navy plus 26.5. And the reason I do is because that's far too many points. We're going to slow this game down. We're not going to tackle Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. We will not be doing that, but we can possibly maybe move the football. I'd like to see Heidenreich get involved more, get Tessa going, make Horvath throw less, and dude, it's four touchdowns. Like, come on, mids. They're my team, so I'm rolling with the mids. Just how Sam rolled with the Cox in Columbia versus Alabama. We're down but not out. We are down but not out. Go mids.
First, you want to go?
Yeah. All this buzz around, LSU, Bama, all this. Why not take a flyer on LSU? They're probably going to get beat by 100 now, but they're letting ex-players in the building now, apparently, which matters like so much for the team that's like because apparently the ex-players get to suit up with them. So I'll pay to see it lose. I want to see this happen.
I knew I shouldn't have let you go first.
No. You can both be it.
That's no fun.
A collab. That'd be kind of funny. We could do that.
LSU collab.
No, this is going to be even funnier. I'll take Penn
No,
State.
no. You can take LSU. You can take LSU. I changed
No,
my
no,
mind.
nope. You can't do that.
No, I want because I want another one now. Who
What's
are
the
you
other
gonna
one?
take? I want to take Boston College plus 11.5 versus SMU.
No, don't do that, Arch.
You
I'll
pick
keep LSU.
first.
I'll keep LSU. Unless you want LSU.
I was going to take Penn State.
Ooh, Penn State, Indiana.
I
Dude,
don't hate
15
that.
and a half point spread. That's doable.
Wait, what's the threshold for spread?
Minus
8.5.
8.5.
What's Missouri at?
6. So you can't take them. I do like I think Missouri's gonna beat them. Well, we'll see.
Who beat who?
Texas A&M.
And
Oh yeah, 6.5.
yeah, they've been getting pumped. Yeah, take Penn State. Sorry.
Ooh, how about that?
What is their spread? I can't even find this game.
Like
15 and a
Minus
half?
15 and a half.
It's a stinky line.
And it opened at 14, and like you would think the public would have hammered that up to a little bit more than 15, but
All right. All right.
Has Penn State played a game? Oh yeah, they played Ohio State. Never mind, I lied.
Dude, do you guys want to just rapid fire some of the previews of this week? So, all right, we got BYU, Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a 9.5 point favorite. Vegas is not giving BYU much love in going to Lubbock, Texas, 11 a.m. kickoff, but they've won a 10 a.m. kickoff against a Pac-12 team, which was Utah, and they were a touchdown. I think they were a touchdown underdog. So BYU's been in this spot before. We'll see what they got. We'll see if Hank Bachmeier and the fellas, or not Hank, Bear Bach, younger brother Bear Bachmeier, what he's got in the tank. You guys got anything for this game?
college game day. I mean, BYU's been in this spot a couple of times this year. No
Yeah.
one really giving him a chance. So it's going to be a fun one. High noon kick. Yeah.
All right, sweet. We also got Oregon at Iowa. And Iowa, as much as we hate that they cannot throw the football and that they've turned Mark Grebenowski's arm to mush and they cut his UCL off when he walked in the building, transferring from South Dakota State. Iowa still has everything in front of them. If they beat Oregon and then they beat USC, their season is is back on, and they might be a playoff contender if they do that. So way easier said than done. They're a touchdown underdog to Oregon this week, but this is Oregon. We get to see Oregon in a bounce back spot from the last time we saw them play. It was against Indiana. So yeah,
Yeah, I said earlier, I think it's one of the more intriguing games of the day. I mean, crazy things happen
game
at Kinnick
game
Stadium.
script game script is huge in this game. Like if Oregon scores over 24 points, like that's probably the number. If they score over 24 points, maybe even 21 points, like I don't know if Iowa can match this. But if Iowa mucks this game up, I wonder what the over under on this game is, because if Iowa mucks this game up and a couple defensive turnovers and special teams plays, Gen number 21, that white returner, it says Wet Gen, but they pronounce it Gen, could be the X factor in this one. Texas A&M, 6.5 point favorites going to Missouri.
I like Missouri's freshman quarterback, Zollers or whatever. He looked pretty good against Vandy.
Yeah.
I just hope they lean on Ahmad Hardy. I feel like in the last few games they've been kind of so like Bama, they were kind of forced away from it because of the game script. At times they were trailing.
Yeah.
Vandy, I feel like they didn't lean on him as much. I think you can get yours against A&M's defense. So I would like to see them lean on him. I think that they will. I believe this is an earlier kick, or maybe this is the later one.
It should be the 3:30 ABC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, sorry, 3:30 ABC. I like Missouri to keep it close here, and I think they're going to get the outright win and get their statement win that they're still kind of alive in the SEC or the playoff race, and I guess SEC. But I'm going to like Missouri in the spot.
I wonder who's calling that game. Whatever. Yeah, I like Missouri here too. I think A&M's due.
All
Like
right.
not much analysis other than like A&M is due to
Yeah.
get
A&M is a little
A&M.
due. LS
Oh, Chris
LSU.
Fowler and Herb Street are doing the BYU Texas Tech game. That's fun.
What?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Not Klatt and Gus
Well,
Johnson.
Klatt is big news. That's on Fox.
I thought Fox had Big 12.
Oh, Joe Tess is calling the game.
Joe Test calls crazy games.
Joe
Joe
Tess
Tess
and
is
Jesse
great.
Paul. Yeah,
And
I like
McDonough's good.
that's good. I think
They
I'm
have a
gonna have to
good.
be glued in.
it.
What'd you say?
I'm gonna have to be glued in on this game.
Yeah, one of my boys is like went to Texas Tech, so he'll be dialed in. But like, it's just like funny watching football with them sometimes.
Not a ball knower.
Not even that. It's just like they're more of the negative type of fans, where
Gotcha.
I'm like the most false hope fan of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
Feel you. All right. Last game. LSU going to Bama. This is Archer's Superdog. Arch, convince us.
Honestly, I can't. I don't really know a world where LSU wins this game. Yeah, I mean, for LSU, you're going to have to get the ground game work, and your O line is going to have to get healthy. You're going to have to. Your game script is huge in this one too. If you go down like 10, it's over. This like, LSU might just collapse like Pate's like a dying star on itself. You just got to if you allow the opportunity for your team to get some life, they can take it and run with it. So I think yeah. If you're trying to win this football game, you're going to have to run the ball, obviously, but you're going to have to hit your shot plays and also not give up the explosives that you did in special teams touchdowns you did versus A&M
Yep.
because Bama is better than them.
Yep. All right. Sweet. Well, guys, efficient pod. Sam will get to bed at 10 o'clock.
oh
Or
wait,
9.
I have a funny thing to say before we go. Did
Dude,
you
let's
guys
go.
get to watch any of the Penn State Ohio State game?
I watched whenever they were tied at one point or something, and I was like, oh boy.
I was playing.
Dude, there was the funniest. They had the funniest graphic that came up. It was like the game was way out of hand, and there's like the fourth quarter, and that it goes to commercial break, and they have this graphic. It says coming up, and there's just a picture of Grunkmeyer, and it says E. Grunkmeyer, and it's just him like spinning the ball. It was so funny. Coming up, Penn State
The backup
offense.
quarterback down 13. I mean, it's 30.
It was
Coming
so
up.
funny.
That's funny.
That is pretty good. I mean, at that point, what?
But
Yeah, I mean, what do you as a TV network? Like, you're just trying to retain audience at that point. So
that was like the one Steelers Thursday night football game when the graphic was like TJ Watt and then like Bill Belichick when the Patriots were so bad. We lost.
All right, sweet. Also, Auburn at Vandy. Vandy's only a 6.5 point favorite. The interim coach theory could be at play there. Florida State going to Clemson. ACC toilet bowl of what was supposed to be. Then we've got two big G5 games, Tulane at Memphis, and then we've got Navy Notre Dame. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was an awesome pod. Dusko will be back next week. Efficient. It's 9. It's almost 9 Central, Sam. So you will be in bed at a reasonable hour. Big day for you tomorrow. Big day for all of us. You know why? You know why it's a big day tomorrow, Arch?
Because it's the next one.
Because it's the next one. Because it's the next one. So anybody listening, I hope you guys have a wonderful day today, tomorrow. God bless, and we will see you next week. Sam, any final closing thoughts? I looked like you had something.
Yeah, I do. If you have made it this far, comment who you think is going to get the G5 playoff spot. If you've made it this far.
All right, Luke Bowser.
Yeah, Luke, keep your eye on the social feed this week.
All right, everybody.
Peace.